Hello you lovely lot, it's Gran here with another episode from the Rusty Gear server. Now then, a lot has been happening in the village, and so this is going to be a catch up, and we're going to start from right where we left off in the last video. And if you remember, I was trying to make our house a little smarter. I say our because I acquired a lodger, and there's been lots of activities in the village since then, one of them being a distribution of a certain purple hat. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to look like when it renders in properly, which it isn't doing at the moment. So it is a purple hat that is, well, let's say peculiar. But it was a gift, so I put it on. So I carried on making some changes to the house. Mostly putting support beams on, just to make it look more oldie worldy. And of course trying not to make it look like a face, which was a little bit hard really because it was tiny. There wasn't much you could do with it, but I did my best. And I wanted it to look like a little village cottage, which I think it was going towards that as we were adding more support beams here and there. I'd just put some more glass in the bloomeries, and I needed to dye more clay so I could have some brown shingles for the roof. Just to finish it off, there were one or two bits missing, as you can see. So carrying on with the support beams, as far as I could actually, I was running out. I didn't have so many left, so I didn't have many choices. I had to pick and choose where I put it. But it was looking more like a cottage as I went on. So next I made some strong tanning, so I could put some clay in and make my brown shingles. You could only make 50 in a barrel, but it only took 12 hours of sealing before they were ready. I wasn't the only one that was gifted with a purple hat. Time goes so fast on a server. It wasn't long before I was actually clay forming my shingles. There were a lot of them, so I won't show you the whole process, but I need to leave one in for an example because I'm sure you haven't seen this before. Next, my bloomeries were ready, so I needed to chip away until I got my glass and thought about what I was going to do for my windows. It was nice to be sealed up inside the house actually, but they were quite ugly, just the plain glass with a black border. And I decided, as is common with a lot of cottages, I'd like to have leaded windows. So whilst I thought about what design I was going to do, I got my shingles in the pit kilns. And of course that meant collecting quite a bit of grass, quite a few sticks, and of course the firewood to go on top. And it was while I was ferreting about collecting these things that I noticed some rather nice lampposts. They were gorgeous, and they were Kendi's work. I just love the mix of blocks she'd used. Then I felt it was time to take advantage of the village tannery, where you brought hides and you took away the leather. As usual in Vintage Story, I was stuffed most of the time, so getting my 4 leather backpacks was amazing. Of course, with the carry-on mod, you could have a chest on your back, or a vessel, or anything that you could carry to have extra inventory space. But those backpacks were just, the bee's knees, weren't they really? It was a struggle to do without them. And firing up the shingles meant another job was done, and it wouldn't be long until we had a proper roof covering the whole of the house. And as soon as that job was done, I hurried home to get my backpack sorted. Gorgeous. Then one of the tools I hadn't done yet was a pantograph, and I would be needing this for my windows. Now this season I am not going to be going mad with chisels and pantographs and things like that. Remember last season? Yeah, didn't end well. Well, it wasn't too bad ending, but it was a bit frustrating because I'd almost chiseled myself to death. No, there will be none of that there will be chiseling, they will, but not as much as last season. and I won't be letting you in on what my build project is going to be this season, not until we're in 1.2, which is just around the corner, I'm assured. Next, I needed to get my garden sorted. This was the site of the old tannery, which has now moved around the other side of Purr, and so I can have a garden in front, and I'm planning on growing flax here for my gamboized armour. We must have something, mustn't we, while we're roaming around in the caves. I did need some more blocks though. I needed some chalk, and it was time I used my quarry mod. Thankfully, there was slate and chalk nearby, and I planned on using the slate for my leaded windows and the chalk to finish off my garden. So I set to with my splitters and my hammer, and I got quite a few blocks. They were all odder pieces, of course, because it was only a little area. And what I couldn't get with the splitters, I did the old-fashioned way and relieved some. It didn't take that long, really. I was only after a little bit of both of those. And then I wanted to find some soil for my garden. There wasn't a lot of it about. It tended to be all sand around here because we were in a desert. So finding soil was important. If I could find high fertility soil, that would be fantastic. But I don't think there was that much around. So once I'd packed up all my stuff, I went on the search for some at least medium fertility soil. High fertility would be fantastic, but medium fertility at the very least. But it was all low fertility. And it wasn't long before I came across my first bear. That is a bear. That is a bear. Now, I kept me cool because I had my sling. I do like a sling. It's my favourite ranged weapon, I must say. And if you're far enough away from your target, they just don't know where the insult is coming from. Most of the time, they're just totally confused and cannot fathom out why they're being attacked, where it's coming from, or what they should do about it. So it's an easy kill. Not very good in enclosed spaces, but this was ideal. It just doesn't know what's happening. Takes a few rocks, but as long as you've got a stack in your inventory, you're ready for anything. Nice. Those would go nice in the tannery. Soon after that, I came across a couple of the new gears. There was Percus and there was Vaporous Orc. Don't know what they were up to, but they were very much enshrouded in their purple hats. We were the Purple Hat Clan. I didn't find any medium fertility soil anywhere. So I decided to head back home and carry on with the jobbies I had around the house. And I soon found my lodger was paying way over the odds for his little tiny attic room. I was having none of it. My shingles were done. I could now finally get the roof on. But I did notice when I got back to that I'd made a little bit of an error with some of the support beams in that they weren't actually touching the ends that I wanted them to. They needed to go under these shingles. And I'd made the mistake of starting them on the edge of the shingles where really I should have started them in the middle because that's where the joint is that you take them off with. And the other side doesn't have a joint on it, so you can actually overlap them with other things. So I had to redo those. So they came from the middle, out towards the shingles, and then you could place the shingles over them. That was a lot better. And then I added a few diagonal decorations. They were coming on quite well. Still haven't got any soil though for my garden. But I used the chalk I'd got to finish the base. I just had a fence to put round it now. I'd already taken the hides over to the tannery to start the process of leather making. Needed to move them on to the weak tanning. And there were some other hides there as well, so I bunged those in at the same time. We needed to keep the process going, and then there'd be leather enough for everyone. So then out came the chisel for my leaded windows. Now working with glass is not easy. If you've done this, you know it's not easy. You can't see it at all. And I was in the dark. I really needed to get some lighting sorted. Soon after my windows were in, I took advantage of another community pot and made myself a lantern. The community smithy had gone up amazingly fast and there was lots of resources to be had. There was a lot of give and take, and it enabled everybody to go forward with all the essentials much sooner than they would have in a single player game. The community benefited everybody and everybody put into the pot. On the way back from getting the iron with Quentin in that first recording session, I spotted some borax and I'd marked it on the map and was determined to go back and get that. Right, that's here somewhere then. Let's just put some of these up so nothing falls on top of me, shall we? Right, so see if we can find it. There it is. Food was obviously going to be very important. There was quite a lot of us, so food went quite quickly. And our resident cook, Crafty Candy, welcomed all donations with open arms. And everybody benefited from that. It was whilst I was on this food collection mission that I spotted something else that was quite interesting. Alum. Now, alum is quite important if you want to use dyes and materials, because to apply dyes to materials, you have to use alum. And there was a lot of it. Took me quite a while to do all that. But it was well worth it when you saw all the different colours that you could use it with. My colour of choice didn't actually need alum. I used woad for the blue of my gamboized armour. Next, it was time to do a bit of cooking, as Crafty Candy was away. And the pantry was looking a little bit bare, so a little bit of querning was needed. And as you know, pies are my go-to food, but these pies were quite interesting because I could add chopped onions, thanks to the extended foods mod that we had. My pies usually consisted of just meat, so that was quite cool. As was baking and cooking in the fabulous kitchen that went up in no time, because of course food is a priority. You have to get that sorted. And there'd been some fabulous chiselling going on by Punk and Solstin. It looked fabulous, it really did. So by the time I'd finished, the larder looked a little bit better. Well, it had only been a few days and the village was looking so different. Houses were being repaired or rebuilt in everybody's individual styles. The smithy was up and running. My garden had a fence round it, but still had no dirt. I'm a bit reluctant to show you everybody's builds so far because they probably want to show them on their channels. So I don't want to be giving spoilers in my videos. There were lots of cows that kept spawning around the village, and if you got a bit too close, they could actually give you a nasty nip. So I helped keep the numbers down at every opportunity. And they soon ended up in a pot and contributed to more variety in the pantry. It was whilst I was making some bowls to light up the exterior of my little cottage that I got an invitation to have a look at Quentin's drifter trap. Quentin was making a massive storage area.
Alright, so we just just go down here.
Oh, is that water? Okay.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, it seems to be populated nicely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I could sit here and hit them. They can't touch me.
Oh, right. Okay, that's good.
Every once in a while, like when they come from the top, they might nail you with a stone, but I thought of expanding this out, but there's too much caves and stuff. Well, my part way up there is my
it's decorative fence.
quarry.
Your decorative fence trick.
Yeah.
Oh. And with these on the floor then, they don't spawn in here at all? These stop them from spawning?
No.
Yeah, it's equivalent to the stones in the previous version, Graham.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll fix that. It might even be fixed in 1.20. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, the Drifter JSON file hasn't changed in 120. So
Yeah.
it's still just air blocks, stone, and again, there's a single line which dictates.
I can't wear
what's
the crown
present.
anymore. Or the
Ooh, a rusty gear and a bit of flax. So that was going to be my go-to when the next storm came. And the hope would be that I'd get a temporal gear to set my spawn. I really needed to get some dirt for my garden. People were wondering what it was all about. The village was expanding at an astonishing rate and looked really cool on the map. I didn't want to go the way of the wolves, so I was looking for another area of green. So I looked northwest and I thought I'd go that way and see what was past the desert. Hadn't really gone far yet. And I didn't want to get into any tussles because I still didn't have any armour. Oh, a bear. Let me just run past this bear. That looks like a translocator. Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness me. I'm a bit slow to get out and explore, so everything near the village had been picked clean. as you would expect. But it wasn't long before I found something quite interesting in the distance, and I thought I'd go and have a look. And as it came into view, it looked absolutely massive. I needed to get closer, and I was quite convinced there'd probably be some nasties in there with it being so big. I could see support beams, and I wanted some of those. There looked to be lots of resources in it. It looked very, very interesting. And I was trying to see if there were any critters in there. I couldn't hear anything, and I couldn't see anything. I needed to see what these beams were. They were very aged wood, so that wouldn't do, because mine was aged wood. Very aged wood is a little bit different, but I thought I'd collect a few of these anyway. I think if I wanted a lot of these, I'd have to come back with an empty chest. Couldn't find any anchor points on those little ones. Not see any on there. Where are they? Where is it? But the logs, the debarked logs around the edge, just using the saw on those would have produced more of the support beams. So that'd be good to get. There was so much good stuff in here. I was spoilt for choice. I didn't really know what to take. I wanted it all. Not that I had anywhere to put it, of course. So I nibbled away at a few different things. And then there was a way in. And I wanted to see what else there was. Gas lamps. There was quite a few of those. Thought those might come in handy. Don't know if they worked though. Don't know if they're lit up. They weren't lit up here. Old canopy bed. More lights. I couldn't see or hear any critters. Children's toys. More lanterns. It was time to go up because there was an upper floor and I was dying to see what was up there. Oh, it was an Aladdin's cave. So I wasted no time in getting in there. I love books. There was lots of books. There was bookshelves. There was tables. There was chairs. I wanted them all, but I had no room. I had no room at all. But I could get everything, because that's how the server was set. It wasn't going to take very long at all before I couldn't fit another thing in my inventory. But I tried. There was so much stuff. So much stuff. Look at the books. There were so many different piles. In the end, I conceded that I would have to come back if I wanted more. I was absolutely stuffed. Back home, and without any dirt, I might add, I started decorating. Just a few things strewn here and there. Made it look a little bit more like home. And then I went looking for my bowls, so I could make some oil lamps. And the pit kilns had gone. And a new one had been built in its place. It looked fabulous, it really did. But where were my bowls? I needed to find them. I did a lot. They must be here somewhere. That is gorgeous. What are people building? I have no idea. Please feel free to grab Perk's Palace of Salvage and Junk. Oh, look. So I needed to find my bowls, though. They should be here somewhere if these are the new pit kilns. I soon found a clue. So where were my bowls? Aha, 20 bowls. Those must have been mine. So I commandeered them. And I was making a space for a trader. I quite liked my trader last season. It was very useful. Oh. Oh. Hey. Oh, another flax. Oh. There we go. That'll do. The more I did in the house, the more cluttered it became, the smaller it seemed. I was beginning to think that maybe having this little house was not a good idea, really. Because, well, it was tiny. Look at this. What's this? What's this? Laboratory area. New builds were going up all the time. It was amazing how much work people were doing while I wasn't on. And they looked amazing. Such nice buildings. I started putting my oil lamps to good use because it was quite dark around my house. So I scattered them around. And I was thinking a few flowers might not go amiss, just to brighten up the place. I remember there was quite a few around spawn, so I think I might go back there and see if I could collect some. I ended up having a round trip up to spawn, and I made a raft and I sailed down on the coast because there was a lot of bushiness there. I needed to get back to the village though. I had found some medium fertility soil, so I had a stack of that. I'd gone a bit further up past spawn, just looking for high fertility soil, but I didn't find any. So now it was a matter of finding a safe way in, and this area at the bottom here looked quite promising. So that's where I headed. I'd collected a few flowers on the way as well, so I was going to use those to decorate around them. I'd been out a while, really, so I'd be glad to get back home. So picking up my trusty raft, I started to trot across the desert. Right, where are we going? Let's have a look. We are going more or less straight up and over. Oh, I see signs of the village there, look. It was so nice to get back to the village. And the soft glow of those lights were just so inviting. And the main road had come all the way down here, past Quentin's place and his chiselling and his lights. I'm going to have a go at those. Past Deeja's art gallery on the right there. And Sid, well, Sid looked a bit stuck. And then I was back at my little house. Very dark around here. So I think lupins can... Yeah, they can. We'll pop some there. Pop another one there. I'd like some of that there, though. There we go. Oh, it'll have to go behind the lupin, I think. Because it's... we'll hold that there. Whoa. Oh, I think that's down that hole underneath my garden. There. Let's have a few more around here. Some lupins there. And we'll have one of these here. And we'll have some of this brown sage there. There we go. Some of that. Quite like that. Quite like the look of that. It's quite nice. I'm going to have that there. Maybe have another one of those there. I think I'd like some of that there as well. I'll have 3 of those. And then some of these, which I haven't put down yet. So I'm going to have that there. And then I'm going to have one of those. Oh, I think it's because of that, isn't it? Maybe I should take that out then. Can I take this out? There we go. Can I put that in there now? Yeah, it's because of that in the corner. Okay. I've got my basket in that corner. But it looks funny if I don't put it on this side, wouldn't it? Would it look funny? I wonder if I could put it on now that it's I've taken it off. Let's have a look. Pop this here. And down to... Oh no, it's not going to let me put it on, you see. Oh, it is. Oh, well, nice. Very nice. I like that a lot. Have I got some more to put in front of here? I've just got a couple of lupins. I suppose I can put one there. And I can put one there. There we go. And I finally got round to putting some dirt in the garden. Only I hadn't planned it out very well. Which I found out when I was putting in the water. And so I had to readjust the size a little bit. But it was fine. And then Sid asked me to come and look at something. Very suspicious. What? What is it? Oh my. Is it hostile? Shall I poke it? It's your life. I thought you said you are careful. I'm up for a bit of a challenge. Although, maybe I shouldn't. I haven't set my spawn here yet. I could throw a stone at it and see what it does. Oh. Oh. Doesn't seem to be hitting it. I wonder if we What's it for then? What did you say? I took damage. Oh. I really don't know about that. It looks horrid, but doesn't do anything, and you can't seem to kill it. Maybe it's just to scare people. Maybe it's like a plant and it's growing. Oh! Well, I'd got my garden in and I planted the few flax that I had. It would have to do. It was a start. And I'd found a few soybeans, so I put those in as well. And then a remarkable development. Punk had something to show me. His Y-fronts. I think Y-fronts were becoming a theme in this village after Deeja's Y-fronts in his art gallery. You must go and have a look. Dearie me. They look clean, at least. It's so tiny, though. Was trying to put a dormer in the other day. Oh. but I think the house is too small for it to look right. We discussed the possibility of an extension and actually getting rid of the garden. But then Punk had an idea. An empty patch by the lake. I was intrigued and I couldn't wait to see what he had in mind. Oh. Oh my. That's deep. So we had a look around and we looked at an area that was quite stable because there were some unstable areas around here. And we settled on one little plot by a smaller lake. And we decided we'd build a house together. How exciting is that? Because Punk is a fabulous builder. So it wasn't long before we had the first foundations of our new house laid down. It might change once or twice before we've actually finished it. So yeah, until 1.2 comes out, we shall be building this house and having adventures. I hope you'll come along for the ride. And then after the update, I should be looking for a place to do my big build. So take care everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.